I finished 9.2 on stream a couple days ago, and here in this video I'm going to show the rewards I got from it, as well as my third rank 4 7-star, which you might just skip over to, and I'll probably have it in time codes if you would like to just do that and then get to gameplay. But if you want to see the process, here we are, and then I have some crystals to open along the way. So as far as like champion acquisition crystals from 9.2, there weren't really that many of them. It was pretty much not focused on that at all. It was mainly focused on getting you that 7-star rank 4 and a lot of rank up resources rather than champion acquisition resources, which just makes the opening much less flashy. But that's fine, I guess. Like, we're just gonna open a couple of basics and then a class crystal and see what we get from there. I also have this relic nexus, which took me a minute to actually decide what I want from here. While I was on stream, I pulled up on Khonshu's Ankh the ability that the Spidey 2099 relic gets when awakened, and then I ultimately decided it wasn't that important, and I am going to take the Winter Soldier one here, even though I don't play a lot of the champs that the Winter Soldier one synergizes with. That being normally Kate Bishop, but I don't really play Kate that much. I don't really feel like it, so that's cool though. I might give it to like Silver Sable or something. I don't know. I have this Exalted Crystal. That was from the Double Track event, I believe. And then I'm going to do the daily super event. Just grab this real quick and hopefully get a little bit more rank up resources that I'm going to want to have for the rank 4, specifically the tier 6 basic and tier 3 alpha, which, for the record, I have zero clue as to why we're using the same resources that rank 4 a 6-star to rank 4 a 7-star. I feel like it's the stupidest thing ever, but here we are. So I guess I'm just constantly running out of those because every single rank up possibly has to have them. Anyway, opening up basics now, and I first get more SIGs on my Falcon, which takes him to 660, which is hot garbage. That's going to be a common theme of these basic crystals, because I'm just going to spoil it right now. The 3 crystals I'm going to open are all champs from the original 7-star basic pool when it was only 36 champions. That being Falcon and Rocket to start, all of which are just useless SIGs. So, yeah, it just sucks. Like, they didn't put a lot of champion acquisition rewards into the quest, and then the champion acquisition rewards that I do get are actual hot garbage, so that's cool. I am going to go for a tech class crystal. I did look at my classes beforehand to see which ones might have the biggest benefit for, and that ended up being the tech class. There were the most wins in the base pool in that class. So yeah, I figured I'd have the best odds of getting something good there. So I'm going to tap it here in just a second, hope for the best. And we are going to get not a first time dupe on my rank 3 penny. We're just going to get an Awakening on War Machine. So yeah, these were just miserable. Like, this sucks so much, especially with how much in the base pool I don't have yet. I know that was a tech crystal, but like in the actual 7-star basic, I'm missing Onslaught, I'm missing Domino, I'm missing Sasquatch, I'm missing Prowler. So many champions in those pools that I just don't have, and I instead pull crap that's been there for 2 years. But that's the RNG process, I guess. Oh well. Alright, now we going to do some rank ups, starting with this Lumitrix here. Lumitrix is really cool. I was initially skeptical on his relevance when he first came out. It took me about a week to see some stuff from people I had talked to who also were playing Lumitrix, and I realized this guy's sick. He's actually really awesome. I want to be making some Lumitrix content soon. He is a little bit niche. Maybe not niche is the correct word. He doesn't really target a lot of like meta defenders. What he does is just be consistent, as he's a champion who doesn't rely on any buffs, doesn't rely on any debuffs, kind of just does his thing and does a crap ton of damage on his basic attacks. Which, when you have champions whose kits are just that simple, they often are just really good for a lot of questing and boss killing type content. Less so battlegrounds and competitive modes, because those are usually about trying to find counters to the hardest defenders, but when it comes to RPG mechanics that you're going to find in content and boss killing, Lumitrix doesn't care, and he's just going to be really good for that type of content. So, for my first rank 4, I have on screen the classes of Cosmic, Mystic, Mutant, and I think it's just those 3. Because those are the classes I do not have a rank 4 in yet, except for Skill, which I just didn't have the class catalyst for to do anyway. And I decided this on stream. My 3rd ever rank 4 7-star is going to be Vox, who, in my opinion, is possibly the most underrated champion in the entire game. Absolutely the most underrated Cosmic in the game. I've said this forever. He is good for every single game mode in the game except for Battlegrounds, and even then he's still a great champion and a champion who I always run for it. He is not the quickest Battlegrounds nuke, but he also doesn't have a single tech defender in the entire game that he is bad for, except for Arnim Zola. That is the only tech in the entire game that I would not use Vox for. And I've also heard people use Vox for Zola. I just haven't had a lot of success with it myself. So, only going to do 2 fights in this video. We're going to get an arcade showcase. Well, I was going to say Vox. We're going to get a Vox showcase out eventually. Arcade is the champ I need to do next. I really just need to go through clips on my phone and get it ready, because it probably is ready. It's just I need to get myself to do it. And my next showcase video is going to be a rank 3 champion, and then probably after that, my rank 4 arcade. But 2 fights we're going to show with Vox. First is Labyrinth Starlord. Next is going to be Epic of Pain Cassie. Labyrinth Starlord's mainly just to show off like the max damage potential, because he is a champion who ramps up in the fight. Like, you're gonna get your highest damage basically a minute and a half in, once you start placing like 50 plus degens on every special one, because you kind of have to like go from increments of like, here's 16, here's like 34, and then you're gonna get to like 50. Just around that area. Like, you see I have 41 here, and yeah, it's just depends on how many intensifies you're going to lock back in and stuff like that. So BG's fights are going to be dead way before you're going to get to that 50 degen mark. But Vox, like I said, is good for like every single piece of content. So you are going to be using him for long form content quite often, and you want to see what the maximum possible damage is going to be for that long form content. Generally, you're not going to be able to get the red numbers as high as you are against Starlord, because this is almost like a test dummy kind of fight with no nodes and such, because nodes are going to make you have to play a little bit differently, make your damage be a little bit different. However, that's fine because his damage is going to be so good anyway, so you won't have to like worry about pushing it to the 62k per tick degens as you saw earlier. Because I've used Vox for like Necropolis Odin, and it was really solid. I've used him for other Necropolis fights as a 6-star champion, and he's very good for those big health pools. So yeah, we're gonna definitely tackle some of that stuff in the big showcase that I'm going to eventually have. But the last fight for this video is going to be against the Epic of Pain Cassie, which is quite possibly the most frustrating and agonizing fight in the Epic of Pain quest. And I got the solo on this like first or second try with Vox here, which is pretty good considering this fight usually takes like multiple attempts for me to get like a really clean fight for. Vox was just able to handle it very well, and you're probably going to see a good bit of that in this video, hopefully. But anyway, the annoying thing about this fight is she's going to get 100% chance to evade basics, then 100% chance to miss specials, and you have to manage that via getting a vigilance or a pursuit on parry. And sometimes it's going to be hard to parry because you're going to get crushed when you dash back a lot. But you also want to dash back a lot because of the power drain node. There's actually not even power drain, it's called power loss. And it's called that because it's going to bypass any power drain immunity that you're going to have. So you can never get out of it except for the clause where it is if you are actively dashing back or in your special attack, you will not get power loss. So, anyway, all that being said, there's another really cool utility piece that Vox has in this fight that you might not have noticed yet. There is a node on this fight that reduces the duration of incoming debuffs by 30% per debuff on the opponent. So if I place one debuff, then the next debuff is going to last 30% shorter. Debuff after that's going to last 60% shorter, and so on. However, Vox's degens are unique in the fact that they have a fixed duration. And what that means is that they can never be shorter and they can never be longer than 13 seconds. So you can't, like, if there was a Hyperbial, like, debilitate node on the defender, they can't get their duration increased, but it also means they cannot get their duration decreased, for instance, against, like, Rogue or something, or this node that we're seeing right here. So that's a very cool thing that Vox does. And yeah, it shows off really nicely in this fight. So, anyway, Cassie is almost dead here. We're going to go for another special one. Place what is probably my last set of degens. She charged a heavy, like, out of nowhere, and it surprised me, but it's fine. The degens are basically going to kill her. Because we're not even playing aggressive, and they're finishing off with, like, 23k per tick. And being aggressive is what increases their damage, so... Anyway, that was pretty cool. And yeah, that is the initial Vox fights I wanted to show you guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and my first war this season, I'm going to be taking a fight with Vox, which will be uploaded tomorrow. So that'll be a cool fight that you guys should check out. That being said, I will see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.